Hello everybody, welcome back to the Quick Take and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now, as you may know, Chelsea are a club that love to sell and sign players, and they have been at it yet again. This is coming in from Blue Footy. Juventus are willing to sell striker Dusan Vlahovic to Chelsea for as little as £21 million, if the London side include Romelu Lukaku as part of a swap deal. They have already been in contact with Juve's Serbian forward to become their new striker. Now, this is a player who I have discussed on the channel. I've even done a video of him, but I am an admirer of him. I remember a few years ago, he was linked to a move with Arsenal in January, but Arsenal failed to pay up. Juventus did. Bish bash bosh. He's a Juventus player, but it's not been going as smoothly as he would like at Juventus. Obviously, Allegri plays a style of football that doesn't exactly complement his style of play, and so Chelsea are looking to swoop in and do a deal with Victor Osimhen being priced out. I would give my left nut to sign Victor Osimhen. However, 150 million euros, pounds, even if it's euros, it's quite a lot of money. When we need to be signing players in the midfield and we need to be signing goalkeepers, it's just like if this summer was just buy a striker and then everything else just chill, go for Osimhen. But as I said, we've got to find a goalkeeper replacement for Edouard Mendy, and even Kepa Arrizabalaga has been linked with a move away to PSG. I can see that kind of happening, maybe not. So that would mean we would have to spend big on a goalkeeper, number one goalkeeper, with obviously Gabriel Slonina coming through. Mike Mainan was mentioned, along with Gianluigi Donnarumma. Georgi Mamadashvili was also mentioned. You know, there's a lot of names to take into consideration, but Mainan looks to be a bit expensive, so we have to spend wisely. But this is a deal I would love to happen. £21 million plus Lukaku, a player who I would happily pay to get rid of for a player like Dusan Vlahovic, who's very early on. I'll keep hitting the mic, I'm so sorry. Somewhat early on in his career. He's still got he's still got years to flourish, and I think he'll be a fantastic striker for us. If we were to sign him, I think he would guarantee us at least 20 goals a season. Yes, you heard that here first. But moving on to our next piece of news, this is coming in from Ben Jacobs. There is some frustration from the Moises Caicedo camp at now quiet, slow-moving talks between Brighton and Chelsea. Patience is going to be key to negotiations, but Caicedo remains a top priority for Chelsea, who still believe a deal can be reached for under £100 million. That is correct. Brighton are standing firm, standing stubborn at their £100 million valuation. They really want that number for their player, following Declan Rice's £105 million move. Sorry, I can't speak today. To Arsenal, although that move does seem to be a little bit up in the air slightly, because there hasn't been some paperwork signed, and West Ham are getting a bit anxious that their big money move for the summer isn't even finalized yet, even though it was agreed nearly a week ago. Some interesting stuff going there. It would be quite funny if we were to drop all interest in Caicedo and just sign Declan Rice, but I don't see that happening. I think Caicedo is going to be the one we choose, even though I'm a big admirer of players like Aurelien Tchouameni, who I did a video on a few days ago, which has done absolutely unreal. Thank you all so much for watching that video. That is I'm actually quite proud of that video. It's quite a good video by me. Pat on the back. Moises Caicedo, I can see that happening. It might take another week or two, but I think we could get a deal. Sorry, I keep in the mic. Sorry. I think we can get a deal agreed somewhere in the region of £85 million. Moving on to our next story. Now, Reece James was rumored to be getting a knee scan following some pains he was feeling in training. And if you know Reece James, you know injuries, kind of hamstring injuries, not really knee injuries, but hamstring injuries seem to be a persistent issue with Reece James. However, the scan has been fine. When he went for the scan, for the knee scan, it was expected to be a positive result, good news. Reece James is fully fit and ready for Chelsea pre-season tour. I would have preferred him to get surgery on that hamstring, just trying to avoid further issues next season, because last season it was a bit of a mistake. He'd come back, he'd be injured, he'd come back, he'd be injured. It was that constant vicious cycle that annoyed a lot of Chelsea fans and left us vulnerable and put us in the position that we were in last season. But looks like he is going to be fully fit going into the preseason game against Wrexham. Moving on to the next story of today, Christian Pulisic has now officially left Chelsea and has joined AC Milan. However, he has claimed he rues missed opportunities at Chelsea. Now, if I remember correctly, he had 3 seasons at Chelsea. I don't know how many appearances. He had all that time to show that he was a player undroppable and that a player you needed to start in order to have an edge against your opponent, and he just never really showed that. The best Christian Pulisic we saw was the Christian Pulisic that arrived following the return to football after the lockdowns. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word. I might bleep it. YouTube is a bit funny in that way. He never really found his foot. When he did, he was injured. There's actually a video of him coming out of the tunnel, and he literally takes 5 steps onto the pitch, turns around, and comes back to Tuchel and says, "Nah, I'm not feeling it." And then he was on the bench, and the thing with Christian Pulisic is he was a great ambassador. Okay, I can tell you, Timothy Chalamet, I saw Jack Harlow was wearing a Chelsea shirt. Timothy Chalamet was wearing a Chelsea cap. I don't know if he's a diehard. I doubt he's a Yadar. But he was good for Chelsea's relations in America, and of course Chelsea getting taken over by an American ownership and consortium in Todd Boehly and Clear Lake Capital. They did okay for us. They did okay for us, and we're just looking at American sponsors at the moment. Hopefully a Netflix deal would be nice. Moving on to our next piece of news. This is coming in for a player who I have discussed on the channel beforehand. Yes, this is the Lyon sensation Ryan Cherki. Chelsea are interested in a move for Ryan Cherki, and if my sources are correct, Lyon are asking for around 50. I say my sources, they're on Twitter. Lyon are asking for 50 million euros. Chelsea are hoping to get a deal done in around the 40 million euro mark, which is about 34 million pounds. Not a bad price. It seems to be the happy-go medium for players when we sign them. They usually do quite well when they're in between that 30 to 40 million pound mark. Ryan Cherki is certainly a player to keep an eye on. Fantastic talent. 19 years of age. He looks about 26. He's matured quite early on in his career, which means that if you get him on a good 6-7 year deal, you've got you got a very good player on your hands for a long time. I'll tell you that. You know, he's a good player now. All he's lacking at the moment is a little bit of athleticism and some end product. I think his end product could be worked on, but as I said, that usually comes with age. You can become a little bit more consistent in front of goal, and that is exactly what we want. And I think he could have. You know what? I'm putting the pen down. I'm gonna say it. He reminds me of Eden Hazard. This could be another Eden Hazard situation where we pick up a player nice and cheap from the French league and we develop him bish bash bosh. He is the greatest player that's ever played in the Premier League. Moving on to our next story. It is Chelsea signing wonder kids again, except there has been a spanner thrown into the works for Matthias Franca, obviously the player who Chelsea have been looking at following our acquisition of Gabriel. He's an okay player. Before we were interested in him, I didn't know much about him. This is coming in from Vince. If Chelsea win the race to sign Matthias Franca, he will immediately be sent on loan to Strasbourg in Ligue 1. That's coming in from Esporto Globo. However, there was another report saying something along the lines of Chelsea were furious at the fact that we were interested, that the news was reported that we were interested in this kid. And obviously, in the headlines, if people see that they're interested in this player, that drives up the price because then other clubs are looking at him. Other clubs are looking at him, and it just complicates the deal as a whole. And it's quite frustrating. I can imagine Chelsea getting quite annoyed at that. It seems like with these wonder kids like Andre Santos and Cesar Castell, we kind of sign them out of the blue, and they're turning out to be quite good players. Apparently Barcelona were in for Andre Santos not long ago. Listen, you would expect him to choose Chelsea over Crystal Palace, but you never know in football. You never know. Sometimes crazy stuff happens. However, that moves us on quite nicely with the Brazilian links into our final story of the day. This is coming in from Transfer News Live, Deadline Day Live. Source is the source is Le Parisien. Chelsea will line up a bid to reunite Neymar with Mauricio Pochettino if the Brazilian decides to leave Paris. Now, this is exciting to me. I am a massive fan of Neymar Jr. and to see him in a Chelsea shirt, in the new Chelsea shirt, which actually looks quite good. There's an edit done by, I'm not too sure who it was done by. I'll try and find out who made this edit for Ryan Cherki in the new Chelsea shirt, and I'll credit them in the description if I can find them. But the new Chelsea shirt actually looks pretty good on players, and I actually think Neymar I would love to see an edit of Neymar in the new Chelsea shirt. I think he would look absolutely phenomenal, and I'd love to see it. I think Neymar would do quite well with us. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Right? A lot of you guys said you don't want Neymar. I can understand. Injury prone. He's troubled. This, that, ego, high wages. Yeah. It's Neymar. Come on. But just listen. Have some fun. Okay. Have some fun. It is Neymar. Okay. We can be happy with or without Neymar, but I'd rather have Neymar. Like imagine an attack of Dusan Vlahovic, Neymar, and Nkunku, that new Portuguese kid we bought, or Madueke, or Raheem Sterling, whoever's on that right-hand side. Imagine that attack. And then obviously Mudryk coming through when Neymar's injured, because he will be injured for some games. It is Neymar, he will be injured. So Mudryk coming through and developing and being fantastic and being the fastest player that's ever lived. So that about wraps up for today's news video. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think Lukaku will be used in a deal with Juventus to sign Dusan Vlahovic? What are your thoughts on Christian Pulisic leaving? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Do you think he'll do well there? Let me know. Would you like to see Neymar reunited with Mauricio Pochettino? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Again, I've been the Quick Take, and I will catch you on the next one. See you later.